Imagine this. Two versions of you exist simultaneously. One reaches for the phone at 3 a.m., drowning in blue light and hollow scrolling. The other sleeps peacefully, rising before dawn to build empires from discipline. Both are you. Both are possible. Yet only one will exist tomorrow. Here lies the paradox that haunts every human soul. You possess the blueprint for greatness, yet sabotage yourself with the very hands meant to construct it. Why do you reach for poison when medicine sits beside it? Why does the mind crave destruction while whispering dreams of transcendence? The battlefield isn't outside. It never was. Every empire that crumbled, every genius who faded into obscurity, every life swallowed by mediocrity, they all lost the same invisible war. What if the cage you've been trying to escape was built entirely by your own unexamined impulses? What if the key has always been closer than your next breath?
The ancient Greeks called it akrasia, acting against your own better judgment. Aristotle wrestled with this demon, bewildered by humanity's tendency towards self-destruction. Centuries later, Schopenhauer would name the culprit, the blind, relentless will, that primal force beneath consciousness, forever hungry, never satisfied. You believe, you choose, but Freud exposed the uncomfortable truth. Your unconscious runs the machinery, while your conscious mind merely narrates the chaos. Every craving, every compulsion, every irresistible urge emerges from shadows you've never confronted. Nietzsche understood this battlefield intimately. He saw that most humans remain slaves to instinct, puppets dancing on biological strings. Only the few who master their inner chaos could create genuine meaning. The Übermensch wasn't about domination over others, it was sovereignty over oneself. Modern neuroscience confirms what philosophers suspected. Your limbic system hijacks rational thought, flooding your brain with dopamine demands. Instant gratification becomes a tyrant wearing pleasure's mask. Yet here's the deeper wound. Society profits from your weakness. Every notification, every advertisement, every engineered temptation exploits the gap between who you are and who you surrender to.
Consider what you've already lost without realizing it. Hours dissolved into mindless consumption, relationships eroded by impulsive words, dreams deferred until they calcified into regrets. The compound interest of small surrenders accumulates silently, bankrupting futures before they begin. Psychologists identify the mechanism: hyperbolic discounting. Your brain systematically undervalues future rewards while magnifying immediate pleasures. That dessert matters more than tomorrow's health. That outburst feels justified despite the relationship it fractures. The present self cannibalizes the future self repeatedly, ruthlessly. But the damage extends beyond the individual. Societies built on unchecked impulse collapse into chaos. Aldous Huxley prophesied this in Brave New World, not oppression through force, but enslavement through pleasure. Control the urges of the masses, and you control civilization itself. Cultural conditioning amplifies this prison. You've been programmed to consume, react, and obey biological imperatives dressed as personal choices. Algorithms study your weaknesses, feeding you precisely what your lower nature craves. The trap feels invisible because it masquerades as freedom. You believe you're choosing when you're merely responding. You believe you're living when you're only reacting. And the walls close tighter each day. Here is where everything inverts. The path to freedom isn't suppression, it's awareness. Viktor Frankl, surviving the Holocaust's horrors, discovered the ultimate human power, the space between stimulus and response. In that sacred pause lives your entire liberation. Stop fighting urges directly. You'll exhaust yourself battling shadows. Instead, observe them.
Watch cravings arise like weather patterns, temporary, impersonal, passing. This is the ancient practice Buddhists called mindfulness, which Stoics termed the inner citadel. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while mastering this discipline. Each morning he prepared for humanity's worst impulses, including his own. He wrote privately, examining his reactions, refusing automatic surrender to emotion. Begin with strategic friction. Remove temptations from your environment before willpower depletes. Design systems where your highest self makes decisions, your lowest self must follow. Delay gratification deliberately, not as punishment, but as training. Cultivate a sacred identity beyond impulse. Ask constantly, what would the person I'm becoming choose right now? This reframes every urge as a vote, every resistance as self-creation. Those who broke free, artists, revolutionaries, philosophers, all discovered this secret. They stopped being victims of their biology and became architects of their character. The rebellion starts with one pause, one conscious choice, one refusal to react.
Now, receive the revelation that changes everything. Controlling your urges was never about deprivation. It was about becoming the author of your existence rather than its passenger. Every impulse resisted is a declaration of sovereignty. Every craving transcended is proof that consciousness can override chemistry. But here lies the deepest truth. The world you wish to control is merely a mirror. External chaos reflects internal disorder. Tyrants who conquered nations but couldn't conquer themselves destroyed everything they built. Empires rise and fall on the discipline of those who lead them. When you master the inner kingdom, the outer kingdom reorganizes itself around your clarity. Opportunities recognize prepared minds. Relationships deepen around integrated souls. Reality bends toward those who refuse to bend toward every passing desire. Jean-Paul Sartre declared that existence precedes essence. You create yourself through choices. Each urge presents this existential crossroads. Surrender, and you dissolve into biological machinery. Transcend, and you sculpt something unprecedented from raw human potential. The world doesn't need more conquerors. It needs individuals who've conquered themselves. People whose presence radiates mastery, whose discipline becomes magnetic, whose freedom inspires collective awakening. Tonight, when the urge whispers, remember, that moment holds the entire universe in its palm. What will you choose?